Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the final presentation today. We are so excited to have you here. And this, of course, is sell more with less. And we know the power sports market is highly competitive, and especially when it comes to finding well-trained sales professionals. Fostering an environment that promotes proper training and education at your dealership will lead to more closed deals and generate repeat business. Ultimately, strong sales training will enhance the overall customer experience, fosters trust, and contributes to long-term business growth. This session will assist you in maximizing your resources and efficiency, especially when budgets or time are limited. Discover how to create smarter strategies, focusing on high-impact activities that generate the most value with minimal effort. With that, please welcome to the stage the Vice President of Sales and Strategic Partnerships for Transact's Digital Retail, Jared Dowdy.
You're welcome, Peter. I appreciate the walk-up music. I said, hey, can we get some walk-up music out here? He said, no problem, what do you want? There it is. Peter, I was disappointed you didn't walk up and down here, but we'll get there. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for attending. I know I am in the way of getting out of here and having a beer. If I could get you all beers right now and some popcorn, I would, but they said, no, probably not a good idea. So, not my fault, but I would love to do it. Anyway, here to talk about selling more with less. What the heck does that mean? Who's this guy that we're listening to, and why should I listen to him? Let me give you a little bit of my background, then we'll get into the presentation. First, when I got into this side of the business, came up in the automotive side. I did everything from wash cars, led training departments, and run a store. From there, I couldn't wait to get out of the retail business, got onto the vendor side and said, what am I doing here? Did training and development for on the vendor side, went to the OEM side, worked for Hyundai for 8 years running their training department. Last was with the motor company for 3 years, Harley-Davidson Motor Company, sorry. And from there, I ran their global training department, and now I'm here. I'm so happy to be here. Happy to be with Transact and to be able to work with dealers, because that's really where the magic happens, and that's really what I believe in. So just going over our agenda real quick, we're going to get into some really, it's not earth-shattering, and everybody's going to be going, man, I know that. Why aren't you doing it? Okay? So I'm really here to call some people out, and let's get to action on some of these things. So we'll talk about some sales and marketing processes. We'll talk about your CRM, and then your call to actions. That's really where your customers are, and how do we fix that? There's a lot of industry jargon out there, connected commerce, digital retail, omni-channel. What the heck does all of that mean? Everybody remembers pre-2000s. If you wanted to buy something, you had to go into a store. I loved when I was a kid, Mom, let's go to Sears, let's go to JCPenney, you want a new pair of jeans, that's where we went. Couldn't do that stuff online. Migrated through into the 2000s where it was that multi-channel and you could kind of do some things, but they weren't really connected, right? From online to offline. And then today, we really got that. I can go in a store, I can go online and have that seamless experience throughout, right? So that's really what we're trying to do here. The difference between connected commerce and digital retail. Digital retail is really, I want you to buy something on my site. Okay, I want you to buy something. The Amazons of the world, how many of us use Amazon every day? That easy button, click it, click it, click it, I'm in. That's the digital retail aspect of things. Connected commerce is being able to have a seamless experience from online to in your store. Is the experience the same? We'll talk about that in a little bit. By the way, this is handcuffing me. I really talk with my hands, so I apologize if it's coming out the wrong way. I can't talk. Let's go over some statistics real quick. 92% of buyers are shopping online before they purchase. I think that statistic is higher, but we'll go with 92%. 4 is the number of times they go between that online and offline purchase experience throughout their journey. This is the one that I would argue all day long. 30% of deal making happens after hours. The reason it's only 30% is because we're not allowing them to do that. And we'll talk about how we do that and how we can better that experience. 70% of all those customers are willing to drive farther for a better experience. How do I treat them online? How am I interacting with them? And am I giving them a better experience both online and offline? 55% of those customers want to engage digitally before they make their purchase, okay? And then 75% want a consistent experience both between the online and offline. I think that's higher. The other 25%, who knows? Maybe they're the ones that we say, hey, let's put in a fake email address and send them a wrong survey. I don't know. So let's talk about those 70% that are willing to drive farther for a better experience. Again, talked about this. I think we could all agree right now that our main focus is the experience in the dealership, right? 100%, we will roll the red carpet out. Our dealerships are set up for customers. That's really where we want them to be, is in our store. I'm here to tell you, my company, everybody else, I'm not trying to sell a bike, a unit. I'm not trying to sell something online. Can we? Yes. But I really want to drive traffic into your stores. The disconnect comes in as, okay, you're providing a great experience once I get there, but how are you getting me there? And is your experience online the same experience as in your store? And that's where we scratch our heads and go, maybe I need to take a different look at this. Do I have the right tools? Do I have the right people? Let's start with the basics and the foundation of things. This is not earth-shattering. This has been around since the inception of time. Let's start with, do you have a defined and written sales process? Okay? How many of us do? Okay? The next question is it easy for my salespeople to find, and is it accessible? What do I mean by that? Most dealers have created a sales process. You have it written down. It's in a book or it's online, and it's buried back in a room and is collecting dust. If you don't believe me, you're kidding yourself. I've shopped. I've gone into stores. I've done training, consulting in dealerships, and that's typically the process. I will go to the dealer principals and say, hey, where's your written sales process? Oh, it's here somewhere. We have one. They all follow it. We train on it. Great. That's what you did the first week. What did you do after that? Can't find the process, don't know what it is, where it's at. Anyway, does it include both an in-person and an online experience or process? Most people have a good written sales process for the store, but what's your online process? Is that written and defined? And do your salespeople know what that is? Or your BDC department, internet department, fill in the blanks. Do they all understand it? And are they implementing it? Again, bless you. Having conversations with dealer principals, they're like, yes, we follow that to the T, until I mystery shop their dealer. And what they're saying is happening and what's actually happening are two different things, right? Salespeople will go rogue. They'll do things on their own. Instead of using your text line, they're using their own cell phone and giving out their cell phone. What happens when they leave? All that information goes with them, right? Who's measuring those salespeople and holding them accountable for those processes? Do you have somebody in your store that you champion? What I mean by that is it could be a manager, could be the frontline salespeople, but who is it? If you don't have a champion in your dealership that's implementing and training on the process, you need to find one, okay? Those are the people that are gonna help new salespeople, existing, holding them accountable. Are you training on process, or are you leaving it up to the OEM, the manufacturer, to do your training for you? If you're not doing training in your dealership every week, every day, doing a lot walk, what's new, what's coming in, what trades did we just take in yesterday? If you're not, you're falling down. The next question is, how are you determining the effectiveness of that training? Am I just saying, okay, we're gonna do it, but is it working? Who knows, right? What metrics are you holding them accountable for? What are your close ratios? How many leads are you getting in? What are your close ratios with those? What's your customer experience like? What are the surveys saying? Hold them accountable and make actionable items for them to be accountable for. All of that said, even if you say, yes, I have a buttoned up process both online and offline, go back and revisit that process, because I guarantee you'll find some holes. Or we've changed drastically from where we were from brick and mortar and just getting people in. They expect you to be online and have a presence. They want to do shopping. They want to be able to engage offline. Go back and revisit it. Make sure that it's creating that frictionless experience, both online and offline, okay? Enough said on that. Let's get into the CRM. If you don't have a CRM, get one. How are we holding people accountable if we don't have one? Okay? That's the first one. The second is, same thing that we talked about with the sales process. Is your CRM process defined, written, accessible? Do they understand it? Do you have an effective dashboard? Is the data going in good data? Is it bad data? Is it the wrong data? And who's monitoring it? Are you leaving it up to your sales managers and not holding them accountable? Are you monitoring that dashboard all day long? Those are questions to ask. Again, who's your champion in the CRM? You got to have one. It can't just be the sales managers. You got to find those champions to be able to help out and embrace that. Who's inspecting and monitoring the activity? Okay, it's one thing to have a dashboard and look at it. Yeah, great, numbers are showing up. Who's monitoring that activity? Okay? Is the information in the CRM credible? How can I ensure that it is? Is it credible? Garbage in, garbage out. If I'm not inputting the correct data into the CRM and making sure that it's accurate, what good is the CRM? You're throwing your money away. Light it on fire, right? Making sure that every day your sales manager should be sitting down with your salespeople saying, all right, who do we have to call today? Let me help you with the notes. Let's do that until they get proficient and do it on their own. And I would still say, have them sit down with them every day, go through, how can I help you close a deal? How can I help you get this further down the line? Let's make sure that the information going in is the correct data, okay? So that's on the CRM. Next is, and this is really where I want to spend a little bit of time. I'll have a little bit of time. We'll end shortly, or end a little bit early. Go off to the stage, answer any questions that you have. By the way, if you want to talk even further, come to my booth, 5067 Transacts. It's in the middle of the tech zone. Be more than happy to answer questions and show you some things. Our websites and call to actions, that's really where we see a lot of the pain points for a dealership, okay? How many CTAs do you have on your website? Some people have 10, 12 on their main page. How many times do you go to a website and chat bubble pops up, text bubble pops up, online special, buy today, $500 rebate if you buy this weekend, bike night, whatever else you have, it's all popping up. What are you asking the customer to do? Okay? Are they effective? Are you measuring the effectiveness of those call to actions, or are we just putting them on because they're all available and we want to just pepper the customer with all these things? Okay? Make those actionable. Make sure that it's furthering the deal, not hindering. Okay? What I mean by that is the customer-centric portion of that, and what that means is it helping me get from, I have a question, you're going to answer it for me, or is it, I have a question, I submitted it, and a response comes back and says, hey, we'll get back to you. Thank you for submitting your question. What the hell good did that do me? I could have done that on my own. I'll just wait till tomorrow, right? How about those trade-in forms? Hey, let me submit all my trade-in information. I'm expecting to get a value on that, but I fill it out, and at the end of it, it goes, thank you for submitting that. Somebody will get back to you with the value. I know you're closed, but are we really furthering the deal by telling them I'll get back to you tomorrow? Customer's going to go to 5 other websites until they can get a value. Okay? Are they dead ends? Again, I fill out the form. Is it giving me an answer to the question that I asked? Okay? If your website and your chat or your text doesn't have an AI component where it's answering questions back or autoresponders, you might want to reconsider who you're using. Okay? Make sure that you're getting responses back to the customers. We are conditioned today to have instant gratification, are we not? I want an answer right now. I don't want to wait till tomorrow. I know you're closed, but I want an answer right now. Give it to them. If you don't have a tool that does that, come see me. I'll talk to you about that. Is it redirecting the customer? If you're looking to do a trade-in or you're looking to fill out a finance application, is it redirecting you to a different page? Or is it keeping me on the page that I'm actually shopping on? So if I found a ATV, a side-by-side, if I found a boat, if I found a bike, and I really want that, and I click on fill out an application and it redirects me to a different site, now I get to hit the back arrow 15 times just to get back to what I was looking at, right? So is it redirecting? Is it opening another page? Make sure that it's not. How many vendors are you using for your CTAs? What do I mean by that? Do you have a text vendor? Do you have a trade vendor? Do you have a credit vendor that you're doing soft credit pulls with? You got 4 or 5 different vendors, 4 or 5 different dashboards opening up that you got to monitor, in addition to the CRM. How frustrating is that, right? Look at ways that you can not spend more and get new widgets and new vendors to install on your website. Look how you can consolidate that and make them more actionable. How can I further a deal instead of just putting more stuff on my website? What's your monthly spend for each? Really go in and analyze that. How much am I spending on this, and is the ROI there? Can you consolidate without losing leads? Absolutely. Just make sure you're finding the right ones. Now, am I telling you all, come to Transact and sign up for me today? Yes. No, I'm not. There's other vendors out there, and everybody does a great job. Make sure that the ones that you select, whether it be me or somebody else, are the right ones for your dealership and are going to help you further your business. Okay? I'd love you all to come sign up with our platform, but is it the right one? I don't know. Let's have a conversation about it. Do your CTAs, again, they further the deal or do they stop it? What's the right number of call to actions to have on your page, on your main page? Is it 0? Some people don't have any. That's not the right number. Some people have 20. That's not the right number. Make sure that play with it a little bit. Trial and error. Put them on your website, put them on the main page, see if they're getting any action. Follow the metrics. If it is, keep it. If it's not, get rid of it. Same with the vehicle display pages. When you actually get into the unit and you've got 12 different call to actions, what are you really asking the customer to do? Click here for a quote. Click here for a trade. Click here to schedule a test ride. Schedule here to fill out an application. Do that, and it all redirects you. Why do we need all those? What do we really want them to do? Are you allowing them to continue to shop? Again, we looked at those statistics. People want to shop before they come in. Allow them to do that. Give them the opportunity to do that. Then the last is, how do I determine which ones to use? Again, trial and error. It's going to be a little bit of that, and there's going to be some pain points. Install them. Put the call to actions on there. Get rid of them if they're not working. Look at different tools. How can I consolidate, again, make it more actionable and further deals? That's really it. There's no magic to it. With that, I'm ending a little bit early. Talk really fast. If you want to have a further conversation about it, again, training background, OEM background, vendor background, I've kind of been around all of that. I've sat in your shoes. I know how painful this is. It doesn't have to be. We are all here as vendors to help you. We're here to help you sell more. I'm not here to sell bikes, to sell units online. Jared, you're crazy. Why not? You can, and we can give you the ability to sell something online. We absolutely can do that, and there's maybe 1% of the customers or less than that want to do that. Give them the ability to do that and buy online. I want to drive traffic into your store. How do we do that? By giving you actionable items to further the deal, have a more informed conversation with the customer once they do that so that we can get them back into the store. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you all.